So is it fixed? Yes.
Post.
Go.
Yeah, to give you post.
Okay, right.
Zoom permission code. Post and code. You said to give someone code. No?
So I don't understand.
You need access of that. To give someone code. Did someone present that? Yeah. Online. So one online group. Digital signature. And then that's all online. Online. I can hear you. His name is Brian. Okay, okay.
Ah, sorry for the delay. Now I'd like to start security working group session. My name is Yoshiaki Kasahara from Kyushu University. I'm a chair of security working group, APAN. And there are two co-chair, Rakesh-san from India and Jami-san from APNIC. But I have heard that Rakesh-san will come to APAN, but I have never seen him yet. But anyway, our working group have this kind of presentation session for every APAN meeting. And this time, we have 4 presentations, 3 from Bangladesh, and 1 from Japan, and he's present from Japan remotely. And unfortunately, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't collect enough presentation for. So actually, we have 2 sessions reserved, but the next session will be cancelled. Anyway, so you you mean you wanted to start from this presentation? Yes. 1, 2, 1, 3. Okay. So I'd like to invite Professor William. William. So please come here. You can use this PC to present. So wait a moment. Which policy? This one? This one. No. Sorry. This one. Okay, so you can use this to proceed on.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. We are going to, in this session, we'll talk about the cybersecurity situation, especially developing country. We have different types of issues and challenges. Especially, we'll focus on Bangladesh as an example, but there are many things common for Nepal, India, Pakistan, and this kind of neighboring countries. We focused on when we try to secure a country, then we start from the government. Government has several systems where they digitized very fast. For example, in Bangladesh, if you want to apply for the passport, there is a system, but most of the time that system doesn't work. Many issues, security issues, as well as the corruption and other issues. Some people don't like to be digitized, and government focus on the trying to make the country as a Bangladesh. But the problem is, in different level, there is a lack of coherence. In a project supported by the Asia Connect, we are trying to our general people in Bangladesh. In my talk, I will focus on the general people, not the techie guys. Mr. Arifin will cover that thing, how we can create technically skilled people. But I'm not focusing that. I'm talking about the need for awareness in a developing country for the general people. So I'll try to cover the following topics. First one, the cyberspace and the impacts of general people in general, and then we'll refer some security related issues. Finally, I'll focus how to secure, especially in a developing country setting. For myself, I have the experience living in Australia. I have seen many things they have resolved, which is still far, Bangladesh is still far behind in terms of securing general people. And I'll try to finish it as soon as possible. It's about 10 to 15 minutes. Generally, cyberspace, this term is used widely. What is cyberspace? All of us know that we are talking about the networks. We have individual networks in different countries and they're interconnected. So in general, if I say internet, that's the cyberspace. Anything online, anything digitized. If I digitally store any data and connect with others, that's the cyberspace. And we want to make a secure cyberspace. So basically, in the physical world and cyber world, both are totally different. In physical world, structured, we know its length, its challenges, and it's a fixed contours. But when we talk about cyberspace, it's too dynamic. Yesterday in the session, it was discussed that there is no single authority to control this. In internet, the major challenge is we are using one browser which is developed by one country, but we are using the server developed maybe in other country, and the routing system is managed by other organization. So it's really, really difficult. So when you talk about securing cyberspace, it becomes challenging. And if you don't have the clear policy how we are going to do that, that's really hard to achieve. So when we talk about securing the cyberspace, you have to deal with the different malwares. You have to consider the secure cryptocurrency issues. And there are many issues, not only the authentication and authorization, that's not enough. If you say securing cyberspace, you have lots of challenges. And you need to aware the general people about the social engineering, about the spoofing and all other issues. Because in Bangladesh, I talked with a very successful businessman, the need for securing his Gmail account. He said, I don't care because I don't use Gmail for any banking issues. So it's not that important. But it is very important. Normal people, they are not technical, need to know what can be done if that email is hacked, because using that email, you can use the cloud, the Google Cloud and other cloud as well. So these small things need to be shared with general people so that they can understand how big the harm can be. And for this one, is the initiative from the government is not enough. We need, for example, I'm a teacher. I have the responsibility to share these risks to the general people. And if we can do it in an organized manner, that is great. We, in our project, we have in our country, a small country, but very large number of people. So we in 5 different cities, we try to cover only 500 person, mostly students are from the industry. When we start the awareness program, we realize the people who normally we think they're smart because they're well off, they're doing good in the real life in other areas, but they are totally unaware about the risks of the cybersecurity. That's why we have we can talk about the building blocks of securing cyberspace in 4 stages. The first one is the government, securing government system. So this is another important issues. I like to share one information that, sorry. When in Bangladesh, when the government decided to uh, make the country digital, they give the instruction that all the academic institution must have a website. Very simple, but they don't know about the security and the necessity of the securing the website. So all the college, they develop a website, insecure website, and there is option you can download the results and everything. The same path, as it is not secured, you can upload a shell so that easily people can hack the website of the college. They are not stealing money, but they can change the results. They can change many other things. So this is one example. This way, we realize that just developing something is not enough, because once you have developed everything, but all are insecure, then very hard to redo the thing. But if the government has a policy that at least minimum this security, because security is an endless process. We have a lot of things, but at least few things, the regular back authorization, authentication, two-phase authentication, the basic things. If we can educate the government people first, then that helps to uh, fulfill the dream of a secure cyber society. Once you can secure the government systems, then you need to secure the business. You have to aware the business people, because many of them are unaware about the value of their data. They think about the money, they think about their product, they think about their formula, but they are not that much aware about the day-to-day data, which is such important. And if they lose the data, what are the problems can be faced? They are not really aware. So securing their business is another important thing. There are many open source software tools which can be used to secure the business systems, because whenever as a business person, you will think that at this moment I don't need to invest that much money, and if you want to secure any business systems, of course you have to spend a good amount of money. And to me, in my understanding, I think it's a good idea if they can start with a cheap one or start with the open source one. They will have the idea what can be done. After that, gradually they will be mentally ready to buy a expensive one or the good one, the quality one. And cyber ecosystem, to develop the ecosystem, you have to orchestration of the different stakeholders. Only the government or only the academics or only the business people is not enough. The general people you need to make on board so that you can fulfill the dream of creating cyber secure society. So when you talk about society, the technical people, not only for the educated people, is about the citizen of the country. So in my country, it starts with technology. Then the government decided a digital Bangladesh slogan last 10-15 years. We have digitized everything, all the government policies, government services, and the private organizations. The e-money is like in Nepal, I have seen the people get out from the taxi and they're paying through the mobile. Same thing happens in Bangladesh as well. So e-money, these things are widely implemented. However, the biggest e-money in Bangladesh is bKash. This bKash can be hacked. One of my students hacked and showed me how this can be manipulated. So the thing is, when you talk about a cyber secure society, you onboard everyone. That's the main point I wanted to share with you people. And when we to implement these things, several initiatives can be taken. Every country should have the national cybersecurity policy. We do have one, but it is the cybersecurity policy for USA is not as useful as a cybersecurity policy for Nepal or Bangladesh. So we need to have our own security policy based on the risk and requirement. And then National Cybersecurity Coordination Center, they must have in Bangladesh we have a major problem. If anything's happen, there is no specific designated person. Like if any incidents happens, any minister can talk. The same thing happens in the security area. If any big incidents happens, for example, credit card fraud or data breach, there is no official authority. Of course, we have BD RAIN, but there is no National Cybersecurity Coordination Center which can coordinate those things. Though government has introduced one, many people from the police, army, but that team is not active or not visible. National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center. I've seen there are some policies and guidelines in the developed countries, but the developing countries, they don't even start thinking about those things. They just build one policy and one law. We have a Digital Security Act, which is very hard, and that is used only for managing the political thing. They are not really interested about the securing the data for the citizens. And for this part, will cover by Mr. Arifin that the educate cybersecurity experts. I mean, we in Bangladesh, we have all the universities have computer science qualification, but yet we don't have the cybersecurity professionals developing center. It's not yet there. So some people, for their own interest, they are learning, but security should be incorporated in the mainstream so that all the school college students know at least the basic security things to fulfill the dream of the a secure society, cyber secure society. And our auditing infrastructure reasonably okay because there are the government regulations. The banks must go through the auditing system, and the large corporations are under this system, but it's not yet widely accepted for the SME. Expert response cell, many times they're talking about it. We don't have a pool of experts. So I can tell that from our project, we have developed 500 people who can start straight away. They're ready to do the auditing, or they're ready to do the ethical hacking thing, the basic level. But national level, we don't have a complete database or information of how many experts in which areas are available in the country. So this kind of database should have owned by the government so that they know if any incident happens, where to knock. Because cybersecurity is a complex area and the expertise varies. If I'm a very expert on forensic, I may not be good in auditing or doing the ethical hacking. So we must know the human resource, the database or pool. Increasing awareness among the general citizens, that's what we have started. So we have started with 5 different areas, but we are planning to scale this up so that all the people in our country should have, at least they should have heard that cybersecurity awareness is an important thing, and what is social engineering. If anyone just call and ask you some questions, and you will start giving answers with sensitive answers, which could be used to hack your banks or other things. And like this program, it is very important to exchange the ideas or the policies. For example, if any area, Nepal got something really good and it works, we can apply in our country as well, because our economic ecosystem is very close. But what UK can, Bangladesh cannot. There are some big issues. So overseas collaboration is important, but while we do that, we should collaborate with everyone. But when we implement, we should be careful enough that in Australia, a large country, if I compare Bangladesh and Australia in size, 49 times. Bangladesh 1, Australia 49 times. But in terms of the number of people, they have 2.5 2.5 hundred million. whatever. The Bangladesh got almost 20 times more than that. It's huge difference. So Australian policy will not work in Bangladesh. But in some cases, for example, for SMEs, what can be done in Australian government website is clearly defined. These are the things, the guidelines. These are the things you need to follow. This kind of things we could not implement yet. So our main uh, things to share with you is we have realized the necessity for awareness of the general people, because if you want to develop a secure country, you must educate the people at least the minimum level so that you can mentally prepare the organizations that they need to uh, spend money on securing their data and how important it is. Every time data breach take place and everybody very quiet. As a cybersecurity professional, I know every day what is happening in my country, but the normal people, they don't know. But in Europe, there is a law. If you are breached, you must share with the government within a certain period of time. You have to fix it and you have to inform what happens, how you have solved it, so that it will not happen again. But in Bangladesh, we don't have anything. The way one bank is robbed, the next day another bank is robbed. The same way, because that data was not shared. So this kind of challenges we are facing, and we need to be proactive and reactive. I don't want to go in depth. So this is my last slide. Lead responsible authority, the cooperation, technical measures, security, cybersecurity capacity building, and legal measures. We are focusing on cybersecurity capacity building because, as I said, in our first project supported by the Asia Connect, we have trained 500 people in 5 different areas, 5 different cities in my country, and they are now ready to train more people. So we are this way, we train the trainers mode. We like to aware our normal citizens so that we can get a digitally secured country, though it is a poor country. It's for fun. ChatGPT. If you don't know these things, it could be harmful. As a teacher, if my students write a essay using ChatGPT or any process, if we don't know, as a teacher, if I don't know, that's a problem. In the cybersecurity, if the normal people who are not IT professionals, if they don't know the risk of the security and the value of the data, that will be more harmful. That's it from me. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, like how we have done it or what are the problems we're facing, how we have solved some of them, I love to share. And after this session also, I'm available. You can ask any of us. Thank you. Yes, please.
Oh, wait one moment.
Hi, thanks a lot for the presentation. Very useful sharing about what's going on in Bangladesh. One of the interesting things that are coming out amongst different global agencies and cyber threat policies is on data classification. So just wondering, in your government, or maybe in the telco industry and all that, to what extent do we force or make it compulsory for either the operators or the end users to classify their data, make sure that it's classified as, say, confidential, unclassified, restricted, so that the automated security algorithms can be imposed on the data before it's transmitted or stored anywhere. So to what extent is it made compulsory, say in government or in other education in agencies in Bangladesh? Thank you.
Thank you. It's a good suggestions. We do have some, at some level we do have, but it's not widely accepted. For example, our data of our national IDs, that is, there are some restrictions. Everybody can, and not everyone easily can access, have the database of all the citizens. But in reality, there are many organizations, they have copy of the citizens database because they somehow they have managed, which is not on the policy. So this kind of issues. Anyway, thank you very much.
Any other questions? Any other questions from remote side? Can you check? No, I'm not sure.
That's all right.
Okay, so I'd like to thank you very much for your presentation, and I'll proceed to the next presentation. Wait, wait, wait a minute. this one.
One is related to the first presentation. So third one, then this one actually. Synchronization.
Okay, okay.
This one, Professor. At first, I have to go. So, please. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. So, thank you very much. Professor Tohid Bhuiya already mentioned about the actually how to build the capacity for about the that means our general people, how we can involve them in our security policy. So this presentation actually how to develop advanced security professionals in Bangladesh. This is the I am going to say something in this regard. So if we consider the statistical information around the globe, so what we are finding actually the penetration of the social network worldwide, actually this information sees nowadays actually overall population more than 3 billion actually in the social network, active in social network. So, and if we consider the social network user worldwide in 2022 by region, so actually data what I have found, this data is found today. So today morning, I actually collected this data, and in Southern Asia, are living actually the second largest actually users of social network. So if we consider India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan, so after India, the population of Bangladesh actually in this region is the highest. So and the overall use of network in social media actually by the rural people, even by the rickshaw puller, they are also using a social network for different purposes. So this is the actual I didn't find the information of Bangladesh, and this is the information accessed today, and the information is of India. From the social network that means from the source I did not find the information for Bangladesh, but I used this data because the trend of any issues in India and Bangladesh actually almost synchronized. They are all almost similar trend in our country. So if we find that means what is the trend? It is actually big trend of population. Those will be in social network. And here, if we give a look, the 2017 to 2019 recent data is not available. I am not sure why I did not find that. So what it is found that in our country overall active population mobile users, if we consider is 32, that means this is in million to 2017 to 2019. If we consider this is actually a big population. At this moment it is much more larger. We can easily find out these issues. So this is in digital Bangladesh. I am not sure whether you are well aware about the slogan of digital Bangladesh. This was a slogan of the ruling party in 2009. They were planning to have digital Bangladesh by 2021. It was known as Vision 2021. And as my previous speaker, Professor Tohid Bhuiya mentioned some issues. So we have actually over more than 167 million population, and among this population we have 91.2 million people those are using internet. Actually this information is little bit older, but what we are finding actually the penetration is very high nowadays. Even at the rural area you will find almost every family have more than one mobile phones. So in all age group, even the people, those are involved in agriculture, even some other people, every class of people are using, that means internet facilities. So this is our, if we consider overall the scenario, how the population to the internet in our country. So digital Bangladesh in our country at present, we can find that almost all the information are digitized. You can, if you want to get any service nowadays, you can easily avail those services via internet or from the online. So if we consider the digital information, even record management, our documents are also digitizing. In most of the universities, they are considering the concepts of digital libraries and many other issues. Then as we are in digital Bangladesh, and the term digital Bangladesh is somehow mentioned in this way, developing, implementing greater information technology assisted laureate. Actually, it was the digital Bangladesh that was mentioning, and the issues related to digital Bangladesh, the government of Bangladesh, they have a common portal to aggregate or integrate all the government organs, and it is known as Bangladesh Tottho Batayon in Bangladesh. And in this portal, actually, we can say that almost all the government services under one umbrella. So this is a big initiative, and as it is a big initiative, it's true we have digitized, but the problem, we had not adopted proper security policy. As well as, what's our problem? We have not enough security that in personnel to deal with these issues actually. So security related issues, if we consider in our digital Bangladesh, we are not in good position in security related issues, as our earlier speaker already mentioned. So the main issues are this: the lack of proper policy and efforts to ensure secure and safe use of cyber. So actually, there is no well-established group, expert group, those will deal with the security-related issues. Even at our government level, even at the university level, or even at the industry level, there is no well-established security, that means cell. So this is a big concern, lack of security-related manpower. This is another issue. So what we are trying to deal with a project under Asia Connect, lack of awareness among the general people. General people, actually, even uneducated people, they are using the internet, they are sharing their data, they are unintentionally making lot of harms to the society, as well as for they are creating different serious problems for the society. They are not well aware about sharing some information what might be a big problem. So they are not aware at all. Even they heard something and they easily share this, and this creates huge other problems. So we have to address these issues actually to have a sustainable digital Bangladesh, to develop to build developed and a smart Bangladesh. So how to develop advanced security professionals in Bangladesh. So I shall give a look about this. It is a actual name of a project known as Developing Advanced Security Professional in Bangladesh, what we are mentioning, DAS PIB. So it is a project, actually, this project is a Asia Connect supported project, and we have a website for this. Anyone can visit this daspib.com with the same name, and you can get much more idea about this information. So under this project, actually, what we had to do, we have to do, actually, we have overall total number of 86, that means hacker trainer. Almost we are completed to train of 86 certified ethical hacker throughout the country in 5 different regions. Although they are not professionally certified, but they are capable of, that means being professionally certified. Then we are considering CISA plus, that is around 20, and then we have another CISSP. This is for 15. That means we shall under this project we shall train and end user 300 end user training, and it is cyber safe, what we are mentioning, how to make their cyber space secure. And then we are policy maker level, we have CISA actually training program under this project. So fortunately, we have completed the these projects where these training programs were distributed. This is our, that means Bangladesh, map of Bangladesh, and this is the Rajshahi region. This is the one biggest region, Dhaka region, Sylhet region, Khulna, Chittagong, and Borishal regions. So we have considered 5 different regions for conducting first 2 trainings, cyber safe and CES. These 2 trainings will be conduct almost we finish the training for CES and cyber safe in all of these regions. So, but the issue is that these regions are a very big region, and the another issue is that in Bangladesh we have more than 150 universities, more than 150 universities, as Professor Tauhid already mentioned. In almost in my university where I'm working, we have very good, that means cyber security cell, as well as we have that means testing center for cyber security related issues. And probably this is the only one university in our country. There is no such awareness among other universities, even public or private universities, but we have more than 150 private and public universities. So a huge group of people are not actually students. Those are coming to the society in next few years, though they are not actually dealing with cyber security related issues. Even there is not a single course in most of the universities related to these issues. So even though we considered in these 5 regions, and we trained some people, and we have some more people to train in advanced security related issues, it is not sufficient enough actually, because we have to cover many other areas as well as many other group of people. So total we have completed the training of cyber 7 CS training for all regions, trained more than 80 trainers for cyber certified ethical hacker, and 300 for cyber safe. This has already been completed. So what is the scenario? Only, sorry, 5 geographical region, including Dhaka, need to confirm that the trainees are well placed in the job market. Another issue, we have almost a pool of 86 trained certified ethical hacker, as well as some other actually trained people, but our, that means job policy is not like that. We shall incorporate some security expert, or the organization must have to incorporate some security experts. So this is not actually still in our policy. So what is happening in these cases, it creates a problem for them. Motivation sometimes comes a problem. Another issue is actually when you want to be a certified professional, it is also a very much actually costly. If you want to get a CAS certified or some other CISA certified, these are very costly. So the problem is that if we train our under a project, we are training our that means these young and energetic, that means people, or in most of the cases they are early career, that means professionals or senior level students. So they are not so much rich in financial issues. So actually certification sometimes become difficult for many of them. So what should we do? Actually, ensuring support for global training for the trainers who will train local people later on. We have training the trainers. Actually, when we started this project, we have not a big pool of trainer in our country. So, and they have little bit, somehow they have knowledge gap. So if these trainers can give training to the trainees later on, so by getting global training, it will be much more helpful or much more effective. So if we can select, that means among these, if we can select some, that means trainees for global level training for them, it will be much more helpful, so that they will be their expertise will be at the international level. Then public private partnership in our country is not working well till now. I am not finding actually so many projects or so many works related to in the security related area, so government funded and private funded. So this is an issue. I am not sure how to deal with these issues. encouraging every organization to ensure the recruitment of cyber security experts. This is, we are talking with our Tohid Bhuya sir. He is also actually related to cyber security related policies. So this is an important issue. That means every organization must have some cyber security related experts. So ensuring the training of the people of different level by the experts. So different level at the if we can train the people students of our universities, we do not know how can we proceed in this regard, because in 150 universities at least we have to conduct this type of trainings at least 100 universities. Each university actually more than 10,000 12,000 students. In most of the universities in Bangladesh, they have huge number of students. So we have to bring them under the security umbrella. So general people, they now do not need to get that means expert level of training, but the uh, in our country around per year we have to say around 50 to 60,000. Am I right, Professor Tohid sir? 30 to 40,000 students. Those are graduating from computer science and engineering. Computer science and engineering, 30 to 40,000 students are graduating with actually little knowledge in the field of security. So then we have to form a special interesting groups on cyber security. A special interest group, actually it can be at our local level. What we are planning under this project, we are trying to create a that means cyber security group in our country, and then adaptation of policies so that everyone will get some sort of security related training. It is possible. Some in our country, the internet infrastructure and other issues are even at the union level, world union level. We have the, that means information access center at the union level, even at the world level. So if we can deploy or we can arrange some level of training in this, considering these information access centers, this will be helpful for our general people. Again, another issue, the content. Bangla is our natural our that means mother tongue, and people in the village areas, even at the city areas, people are not expert in speaking in English or understanding in English. So we have to develop some types of content in our local language. We have tribal peoples as well in our Chittagong hill areas. We have to develop the contents for them, because they are also using, that means mobile phones, internet access. So content, availability of content for them is actually very, very limited. So if even for our school going students, if we are giving some sort of training, their brain will be clear. Oh, we need to know that the cyber policy, how to I handle the cyber related issues. So these are totally ignored in our society. That means in the content in local language, as well as the school going students, for the tribal people and other people, we cannot actually consider that issues. So we need to follow this as well in our scenario. So this is the overall content, and the projects that we considered was one document I want to just show, if time allows. Is Oh, okay, okay, sorry,
You
sorry, I
can
can
see
catch.
this.
So this is the overall scenario. This project was well covered by the national newspapers. Actually, 15 newspapers, they were, that means published news about this project and important of this project, everything they mentioned, and hope we have to continue this project with the support of Asia Connect and other organ from the international arena, so that it is much more effective, and it will be expand for other group of people. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Yeah, very nice presentation. Actually, I have a question about the policy for people who actually trains in the program. So do you feel like policy or contract that enforce the people who trains to work in Bangladesh, or can they actually go out of Bangladesh and work?
They got training by their own self. Okay? The teacher tries themselves by their own interest, and we selected this type of people. But we have not so many such people, those who are actually expert in the field of security. But we have to collect these people. They are from some business organization, banking sector, government sector. We have to, that means, collect them, collect their information, and we are deploying them for the training to our team.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation, especially for the training that you've been conducting in the 5 different regions. I guess you do have the challenge of geographical spread. So I just wondering to what extent you use virtualized online training versus face-to-face in terms of and the effectiveness. Thank you.
So about that actually online training. Actually, online training is not so much from our experience. We found that it's not so much effective because the overall environment, that means house environment and other environments are not totally comply with that means online training. In a developing country, there are many needs for making everything online.
Oh, okay.
So I am next one.
Yeah, sorry. Thanks for sharing. So I think the special interest groups is one way that is quite important. But the other thing I just wanted to know is, okay, I mean, special interest groups, actually from there you can identify who are the thought leaders, right? Who are the people interested, and then you can do sharings there. But usually I see that these are supported by the industry. I mean, people gather together, they want to have coffee, want some drinks. Do you see the industry stepping forward?
Problem probably in Bangladesh, Nepal, even Pakistan. Oh, sorry. And Pakistan, these countries, actually, industry academia collaboration is not up to the mark. Our industries are not coming forward actually to do some research. They are providing some funding. How can I mention? It may be around $1,000, $2,000 for running a project. Actually, how can we work with this? So industry academia collaboration is not working a lot right now.
Okay.
But our government is trying
Yeah.
to, that means
Actually don't need much. So in Singapore, we have get-togethers around 100 people, and the industry, actually the vendors just sponsor pizza and Coke. That's all.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Professor.
Okay. どうしようかな。Please short way.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for your presentation here. Basically, I have two questions. First is, what's your planning and what are you doing to spread the awareness to the general people, the general public, basically?
Yes.
And those, because in those areas in our countries, everyone is using nowadays social media and everything, and offense against each other is also very common on social media.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
And second question is, second question is that how are you securing the banking sectors?
Okay.
Basically, I'm from Pakistan, but I live in Korea, so I can't see the security level that is available in Korea, that's not in Pakistan. Like every next year, they develop the banking sectors develop new applications, but those are not that level of that doesn't have that level of authentication system. Nowadays they are just putting OTP system, but not that level of security that's providing in developed countries, like certificate level certificate using certificate. So how are you doing those things?
Okay. Thank you very much. Actually, about your first question for securing general people, actually, it is a long-term plan should be needed. So if we can incorporate a policy like that, our students, that means when they are going to the school, actually in our country, I am not sure in other countries probably similar, when they are school going, they are already using social media in our country. So when they are going to the school, they are learning mathematics and many other courses. At the same time, can we not incorporate a actually subject, a subject such as security related subject? He is a very young age. If we can mention the benefits and see how he will use this, it will catch attract his mind, and his mind setup will be like that. So this type of policy, our government, we cannot yet make able to adopt these issues. So if international organizations, they can take some initiatives in the developing countries, so that students, those who are in the school going, they will have to know some security related issues. One issues. Another issue, general people, we have different center. That means at the union level, ward level, we can use these centers to bring the people, general people. We are mentioning Matabal, leader of the group of people. They will come to these centers and they will discuss with the experts. They will go back to the that means village people, and they will explain. they will report. Actually, there is a very well-known framework, but everywhere some involvement of money. So it is an issue. And at the banking sector, our banking sector is relatively highly secure. What is the reason? It is not due to the local people. The people, when they are thinking some difficulties, they are hiring people from the some other overseas countries. Actually, they are solving the issues. So it is a problem actually. And side, they are coming and they are solving the problems. Local people are not highly involved in this actually structure. That is a big concern for our country.
I think I should if this presentation didn't you proceed to next.
Yes, Professor. I am going to yes, I have
And short information. There how can I say? Fellow staff is checking the participant here. So yeah, if your name badge is not scanned yet, please ask him to scan that. Yes, wait a moment.
Thank you very much. I shall not take so much time in this presentation because probably we are running out of time. Is it right? One more presentation. Okay, I shall try to finish it within next 10-12 minutes. So impacts of cyberbullying towards the women of developing countries. So we are well aware about the fact, and we are well aware about the incidents actually related to cyberbullying in the uh, developing countries, mainly to our women. So we all know what is cyberbullying. Actually, we are the people in this domain. So unwanted, repeated, aggressive, negative behavior that take places over digital devices like cell phone, tablets, and computers. So this is known as cyberbullying. So in very simple word, we can say that harassment or creating some type of problems for anyone intentionally in the cyberspace can be treated as cyberbullying. So there are many forms of cyberbullying. You can say posting some news that is very much dangerous from someone's perspective. Then you are commenting some comments. Then you are that means exploring some sort of rumors so that it can create problem for the individual perspective, social perspective, as well as the national perspective. So bullying actually it is direct. We should, yes, we are limiting this to the personal perspective, but now actually we could not say that it is a personal perspective. It can also be a group of people, or even in the larger domain we can consider this. So if we consider that means bullying, if you provide some sort of threatening, you are threatening someone. Earlier it was very difficult. You have to go someone physically and make something. Nowadays you can do it over the phone as well as over the internet. So all these are belongs to bullying, cyberbullying, and you are breaking the privacy of someone's individual. This also belongs to cyberbullying. We can consider issues. You are leaking someone's mobile number, cell phone numbers intentionally to take harm from him can also be considered in this regard. Okay. So if we consider cyberbullying, actually this is the scenario of our country during the COVID-19. Most of the people were, that means, stuck in their house or in their location. So main media of communication was the online communication. And fortunately, due to the very good network infrastructure during the COVID period, we had online educations and other was going in good direction. But at the same time, the problem was cyberbullying. It increased at an alarming rate at that cases. So what was we found that the cyberbullying victims rates is 80%, as well as the percentage of victims in which 60% of the girls in the cities and 33% were in the village. So this was the scenario. So in the village people, even at the city area, we had the problem of cyber bullying. So this cases was from Bangladesh, and this was a cyberbullying against girls and women over social media. this was done by the ICT division, Information Communication Technology Division, Bangladesh. So it is the information from them. So what is the impact of this cyberbullying? Actually, these are the some information obtained from the source is given. It is Asian Journal of, that means we have collected this information, and there are many issues. Actually, if you someone is bullied over the internet or cyberbullying, that means it is seen that 27.3% suffered from any kind of, that means psychiatric disorder. Both emotional and behavioral disorders are significantly higher among the victims considered to other, if we consider that. Actually, if we found they are normally, one important issue is that this bullying comes from their friends. Their friends, those are virtually connected in different ways. And if we consider that, that means cyberbullying associated with notable amount of psychiatric disorders, then that needs more attention. So psychiatric disorder is a big issue related to cyberbullying. Then another, Bushrat and her co-authors mentioned the problems related to cyberbullying: anxiety, intense fear, then ongoing fears, depressions, disrupted work life, degrading of performance in the study or work, many other issues related to this. And another important issue is that now teenage people, here we are mentioning the girls, those are over threatening due to the cyberbullying because they are emotional, and they are in their emotional age, they are actually getting stuck, and later on they face different types of problem. So we have to consider this teenage girls age below 18 is most vulnerable to harassment. So it is a big concern that need to be addressed, because that is the age where they are growing up, their mental growth and everything from that age, 13 to 18 or 19. So it is an issue. And what considered they actually conducted in this work, they considered, actually he is one of a former colleague, and he conducted the research in this considering a sample of 2300, and that considers their analysis this with the help of association rule mining. Actually it is a big paper, but I have not mentioning that. So, and they are considering several attributes. And what is you find from this, that means anxiety, they are mentioning it is among 1060 people are mentioning like this. And latest one is avoidance behaviors. That means this is the less count, support count, if we mention these issues. So from this scenario, actually, we can see that there are many overlapping if we consider. And from this fact, it is understandable that when we consider that means cyberbullying, it will affect a girl in many different way, in many different factors, includes in case of so this is the sample they have considered when the age group under 18 is like this, 18 to 24. This is the total 2300 overall the sample, and this is the their analysis. This and another very good one, what they are claiming ultimate impact, serious impact of cyberbullying is attempt to suicide. So this is also mentioned. Actually, it is very recent one, and that when Maura ETL, they had performed a studies in this grade, and they are mentioning that that means and suicidal thoughts due to cyberbullying. That means victimization creates several problems and ultimate effects of, that means suicidal impacts. So these are the very, we should not neglect this issue. We have to have some policies from global level as well as local level from this. So prevention is individual strategies perspective sometimes somehow easier if we can train them. Again, we have to make them how to use social media, protect accounts and devices, use privacy tools and settings, keep personal stuff private, manage location sharing. So these we can train them at the school level, and they can do this. Then think before posting, but we must have to that means make them aware, conduct a social media audit, log out when using public devices, refuse to respond to cyberbullies, report cyber bullies. So these are the personal level of issues. However, if we consider national perspective, it is a big policy. Actually, nations of the developing countries, developing nations are not dealing this in serious way. Adaptation and proper implementation of cyber laws, this is important issue. Developing countries need to focus on their respective youth policies, where impacts and prevention of cybercrime should be clearly highlighted, along with the economic well-being employment of youth. This is a big issue. So then if we can ensure the employment for our youth generation, actually they will not divert in that cases. Female victims, actually it is the female victims, they are in the developing countries are always worried about their security. Even their different types of harassment, they feel shy to share, and they are not actually sure whether in later part of their life they are not be threatened for this sharing. So we must have to ensure very good environment for them to give them confidence to sharing. Then policies need to be reformulated, including educational institutions. Educational institutions is a big place where this type of bullies, or so we have to bring them in our national policy. Then frequent workshop and campaigns must be conducted in this regard. However, there are no such actually workshops, few workshops in this regard. Then international perspective, it is also an issue, cross-border related issues. So that means we might have joint international forum. We must have joint international forum. However, I am not sure whether there are such type of forums for dealing with these issues. From this type of organization, we can take initiatives for this. That youth representatives, with the people, when we form a committee, all the people are very, that is high profile, senior people. We have to hear the words from our youth. So youth representatives should be there. They will say there. Then we must have to very well policy to how to consider actually fake IDs. Fake IDs is a big concern nowadays in social media. So how to deal with this type of fake IDs, removing these fake IDs, there should be very well known policies. Then extensive collaborative research should be conducted on cyber along with other types of cyber crimes such as fraud, scams, phishing. So this is also an important issue, and somehow it's also a baseline issue. So thank you. Let's work together for bullying-free cyberspace. It is an important as we consider. Thank you.
Any questions or comment? No? Okay. So thank you very much for your presentation from Bangladesh.
Thank you, Professor.
So now I think I'd like to proceed to the last presentation. So can you switch to Zoom? The last presentation is from Japan. From by Professor Kondo from Keio University. And so wait a moment. Technician is preparing to change the monitor of the physical room. So wait a moment.
Okay, so can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but the monitor is not switched yet. So please wait
Okay.
for.
Okay.
I think we can extend the session time overflow to tea breaks for a bit. So it's okay to talk in 20 minutes, including Q&A. So please wait a moment.
And then so I just started my screen sharing on Zoom. So if you see my screen, so please let me know.
Yeah. Okay. is ready. Okay, it's ready. So please start your presentation.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. So I'm Takao Kondo from Japan, Keio University. Just a moment. Can you see my screen? Okay.
Yes, but it is not a presentation mode.
I see. Okay.
This is a presenter mode.
I see. Switch the screen. Swap displays. Okay. So
Yes, great.
okay. So yeah, again, so I'm Takao Kondo from the Keio University, Japan. So, but my affiliation is an assistant professor of the Keio University, especially so computer security incident response team and the cyber security research center. And today's my talk is about towards secure and semantics aware internet infrastructure. So this is a kind of the talk to briefly describe our research directions to make such a secure and actionable internet infrastructure. So this has showed so our motivation or the incentive to research. So yeah, but of course I know the cybersecurity is important, but for the internet infrastructures itself. So our question is the cybersecurity the most important? This is our questions. So actually, so yeah, as you know, the current internet requires many defense technologies, which is basically based on the multi-layers or the defense in depth idea, and which is including many of combining fragmented functions in order to respond the actual practical cyber threat. So, and again, so our question is, our focusing point is, to countermeasure such situations, so what is the best way to deal with such kind of cyber securities? So in our opinion, so cybersecurity requirements should not, after the too much break of the research and the development of the global internet infrastructures. So in this, how to say, so thinking, our thinkings. So it is important to understand for each entity, not only the a kind of the ISPs, internet service provider, and also each of the consumers entity on the surface internet should understand its own taking risk. And so by this understanding, so yeah, so we are sure to implement actionable countermeasures for the internet environment against the against the threat actors. So as you know, so on the current internet environment, there are many applications, not only the e-commerce and e-commerce ones, enterprise ones, but also there are some kind of the emerging applications, such as the mission critical services of the industrial IoT ones and medical ones. So such kind of the concerning such kind of the situations. So we are sure global reachability of the internet is most important feature of the internet itself. And then so we are focusing on the actionable ways to countermeasure, and the cyber threat actors on the internet. By the terms of the cyber threat in the current internet, so there are many incidents like information leakage, ones, yeah, and so on. And this is a kind of significantly affect the external credibility and reputation of an organization on the of the organizations which host or support of the application on the internet. So here is a description, brief description of the transition of the security operations from the 2000 to the current 2020s. By the beginning, so this is very simple ones. Just static packet filtering by firewall, and just conducting kind of the pattern matching detection or blocking by the IPS systems. But so over time, maybe until 2010, so the IT system on the internet becomes larger and more complex. So that means that some servers are visible to outside without going through IPS. This is mainly due to a kind of the performance issues for the very high quality or many applications on the internet. And also, it is said that a kind of the we explained that kind of the increasing attacks that cannot be detected by the just traditional pattern matching, and also we observed the increase of the HTTPS, that is encrypted traffic on the internet. So as you know, so this is this kind of traffic cannot be scanned by the IP systems. And also, this is a kind of the applications or the genuine internet application of the user perspective. On the other hand, here is another perspective, attacker's perspective. So especially around the 2020s, it is very important, such kind of the perspective. So such as the attacker want to make a kind of the profit, by the attack activities to the targeted organizations, and then so the attacker itself would how to say so would take organizations on the take more sophisticated techniques or methods to the cyber attacks. And then so a kind of the basic IT environment would be changed for the genuine applications based on the cloud computing technologies. Okay, so this is the current. This is the description of the transition from the security operations. And then, so in terms of the understanding the current cyber threat situations and the countermeasures to the cyber threat actors, so it is important for the all of the entities to understand the information security risk of the its own information security risk. So here is a kind of this definition of the information security risk, which is defined by the ISO IEC 27000. This is this is also called as ISMS. So here there are three components for the information security risk: threat, vulnerability, and asset. A threat is a kind of attacker's intent, opportunity, and capabilities. So such kind of the issues would be specified by the attributions procedures generally. And also, it is important to consider about the not only the threat itself, but also the targeted organization situations like vulnerabilities and the asset ones. The this vulnerability is a kind of a difference between what security should be and what it is today. And asset is a kind of asset for like information asset, your IT system asset, and so on. So such kind of such kind of component is very important to understand the information security risk and identifies the actionable countermeasures to the cyber threat actors. So in terms of the defense viewpoint, there are two kinds of the defense activities. One is the compliance based, which would be mainly focusing on the the targeted organization side, vulnerability and asset ones. And also the another ones, risk-based defense activities. This activity would be focusing on the not the targeted organization, but the threat actor itself. So this is the such kind of classification. So therefore, mainly based on the focusing point of the component of the information security risk itself. Okay, so let me move on the brief descriptions for our research direction to tackle such kind of the current cyber threat actors. So the first one topic is focusing on the first type defense activities, compliance-based ones, and the second one is related to the risk-based activities. So today, due to time limitation, I would like to focusing on the second ones, and then so actually, so it is very important to how to say consider the threat itself, not only compliance-based ones, but also threat concerning threat is very important to how to say make actionable. So not so hard defense measures. On the internet environment. So here is a typical activity to the threat-based defense. Sorry, this is a kind of the typical measures which is utilized in the threat-based activities, defense activities. This is IOC, indicator of compromise. As you know, so this is a kind of the variable clues to specify the incident. Incident. So so it is also helpful to make a kind of the decision to conduct a kind of the decision making for the incident responses and so on. So generally speaking, so if there are not enough clues in a response, maybe so there may be a problem with the investigation method itself. So it is important to find the variable clues such as of the IOCs on the actual incident response activities. And as I say, there are several classifications of the IOCs, like property-based and methodology-based. And the second classification is basically based on the difference of the observation point, the host-based measurement and the network-based measurement ones. So such kind of the IOC would be a kind of the fruits of the cyber threat intelligence informations, generally speaking. So the cyber threat intelligence CTI information is a kind of the artifact which is collected, processed, integrated, evaluated, analyzed, and interpreted with respect to cyber threat itself. this is again, so the mix of the threat actors, intentions, opportunities, and capabilities. The left here is a kind of the CPI information cycles. So here is a kind of the low information and the practical operational environment. And then so based on such kind of the CPI source informations, finally a kind of the CPI information would be produced. But before such kind of the making intelligence or analysis itself, it is important to insert a kind of the normalization processes. So this is a kind of the intermediate processes between the raw data and the intelligence data. So this is very important. And the right here shows a kind of the classification for the CTA informations, which is conducted by the NCSC from the UK government. So there are two types of the axes. One axis describes a kind of the a high level, low level classifications, and the other axis show the kind of the time range. So short term range and the long term range. So such kind of the so classification is also important to understand the CTI information itself. And so here is a kind of the examples from the CTI informations, which is actually provided by the kind of the CTI service providers. So typically, so a kind of the there is a kind of the information about the clues of the C2 communication servers for the emotet malware, banking Trojan, Pridex malware, and so on. And then so here is some kind of clues itself, just the IP addresses and a kind of the hash values for the malware. So here is a kind of the another types of the clues, not only the IP addresses and hash value, but also it includes a kind of a domain names, FQDN, and the kind of the information of the malware families, and the kind of the tactics or techniques of the malwares. Malware utilizes. So such kind of CTI or IOC information is very important to conduct the risk-based countermeasures for the cyber threat actors, because such kind of so CTI information would be helpful to understand the threat actors, features like the frequency and the impact of the threat facing the targeted organizations. So such kind of information would be a kind of the complements, would be a kind of the complement for the components-based approaches, which is as I described. So focusing on the vulnerabilities and the asset of the targeted organizations. And then so this is a very famous figure of the pyramidal pain. So so this is also describe the features of the CTI information itself. Okay, so let me move on more practical or concrete example of the implementations of the CTI sources. So that would be helpful to understand, to implement the risk-based defense activities. So today I'd like to focusing on the darknet CTI source, because as you know, so we are the research and education network operators, and so we have a kind of network activity to build up such kind of a darknet environment. So darknet is a kind of so observation infrastructure so of the unused IP address spaces. So because of the future, due to the future of the so this part this infrastructure is typically based on the unused IP address spaces. So the traffic measured in the darknet does not originate from legitimate users or the services because the destination would be there's no destinations of the legitimate users or services on the darknet. So so that means so it is also said that so we can highly we have a highly possibility of the observing malicious communications of the darknet environment. And so here is a kind of the example of the darknet observations. There are many projects, not only the Japanese domestic project, but also there are many international projects. And in terms of the research and network educations, research and education network operations, so SAFnet would also make a kind of the darknet environment to measure such kind of the very malicious communications on the internet. So here is a typical example of the utilizing of the darknet observations for the early warning for the cyber threat activities. So as you know, so in 2070s we have very critical threat activities based on the WannaCry ransomware on the internet. In terms of the so Trend Micro's first report, it would be April 25 and 25th. But on the other hand, so in terms of the darknet observations, we can get a kind of the early detection of the changes of the so scanning activity to the TCP 445 port. This is as you know, so the SMB sharing, file sharing, network sharing service port. So this figure shows a kind of the result. So y-axis of the show the number of measurement on the darknet, and the x-axis is a kind of the timeline. So here is April 25th, and we measured around two weeks earlier. So detect such kind of so changes of the measurement on the darknet environment. And also here is another example of the utilizing the darknet activities. This figure also shows the same axes. So the x-axis is a kind of the timeline, and the y-axis would be a kind of the number of measurement on the darknet. And there are several type of the service port measurement and described here. And in terms of the SMB of network sharing, so this is TCP 445. One is here. So this point, so this red line is again, so as I described in the previous slide, so a kind of that, so a kind of gap between the before behavior and after. So continuing the peak measurement behaviors. So there are several red lines in this figure. So that means there are a kind of the behavior changing in also another service port other than the SMB TCP 445. And so this blue figure focusing on the not the changing, but the kind of the correlations of the two measurement. So this green line would be the TCP 23, and this yellow line would be the TCP 2323, 2323. So as you know, so both of the measurement would be the based on the kind of activity of the Mirai malwares on the internet. So as you see in this figure, so also there are different study spot of the measurement, but here is a kind of a correlations between among these two measurements. So this is another utilization of the observed traffic on the internet to detect correlations. Okay, so finally, this slide will be a kind of conclusion of today's my talking. So today's my talking is about a kind of the way to implement the secure and actionable internet infrastructure for the genuine internet applications or users. And so there are several types of the defense approaches like compliance-based and risk-based and so on. And today's my talking is about focusing on the risk-based ones. And today's my talking is especially focusing on the darknet sources to making the research and education network operators perspectives CTI informations. Okay, this is my all talking. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments? I have a question about the darknet. Can you hear me? Excuse me.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Now IPv4 address pool is exhausted. So are there any concern about keeping large amount of unused IP addresses as a darknet?
Yeah. So basically, I agree. So maybe it is related to the IPv4 exhaustions situations for making such kind of a darknet environment. So here is the current existing darknet observations project. The most big ones are the UCS Keda was. They have many measurement environment for the making the darknet environment. On the other hand, the other activities to make the darknet observation environment based on the 4,000 addresses. So basically, basically compared with this CADA was very small of the addresses for the measurements. So it is we can say that we can make many types of the darknet observations are based on each owns owing IP addresses among this type of the CADAs, very big one, and on the other hand, invasive Turing and so on ones. So maybe this would be helpful to tackling IPv4 exhausting situations, I think.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions or comment? Okay, thank you very much, Professor Kondo. I think these two presentations from Bangladesh, they will in the venue, so you can contact directly to him to further discuss. And also, you can contact Professor Do on Hoover platform. So please ask some question if you have. So thank you very much. And I have